It's changed my life in so many ways. Because I started early on and sort of stopped and started, it's hard to have measured it quite like I do now. But now, there's nothing that I do that doesn't have some foundation of yoga. And I don't mean, again, the postures. It's really more the lifestyle and the philosophy behind yoga. From the way that I eat to the way that I treat other people, the way that other people treat me, just my general energy. And it allows me to do all the things that I do, but with a certain kind of intention, a sort of more pure intention and more focus. Things kind of come to me more easily because I'm sort of prepared for them.
A little more if you can, Sarah. A little more.
Supermodel Christy Turlington is practicing yoga. For her, yoga is not about just body culture. She is more philosophically involved in yoga. It is her lifestyle, it is her culture, and she lives the ancient ideals of yoga in an urban environment. She believes in the complete science of yoga. She's not changing yoga, she's practicing it seriously. She adopted yoga philosophy and culture.
Yeah, the practice, I would say, has been a part of everything. I started doing yoga when I was about 18. And I've tried many different kinds of yoga. The book as well sort of allowed me to go down a few different paths just because I really wanted to understand more of the popularized practices and also try to connect them with the origins of the asanas and the general practice. But I would say Seva has really stood out to me. This notion of service and selfless service, it just always resonated. And I think all of those years of practice before I became a mother, I think prepared me to be able to take an opportunity and an experience and put those things together and be able to create something more meaningful. I once went to see Ram Dass speak at St. John the Divine here in New York City, and it was after he had had his stroke. And I remember him explaining his stroke as I was stroked. And it was such a beautiful way of taking something that most people would, take as something horrible and debilitating, but the way that he put that active ending to the word, and it felt then like a soft, like a gentle experience. So my daughter's name is Grace, and I often think of her birth experience as being graced, and her entrance into the world and being graced in that experience, that sort of carries me through to this work today.
Every birth is divine. We are not aware of this. We are looking at the birth as just a hospital incident. Every birth is divine, and it is sacred, and therefore it is the grace of totality of existence, known as God. She's saying her daughter's birth inspires her to see life in the sacred way, where your birth, growing up, etc., is not just following the conventional misunderstanding of life. Christy Turlington is saying the birth of her daughter inspired her to take the yoga philosophy more seriously and see that her culture is not limited by just this productivity and efficiency interpretation of our journey of life. So she understands that we should treat our body and life as sacred. Even though the word sacred does not mean much to many people, but studying the yoga system correctly allows you to understand how it is sacred. There are some yoga schools in the US that using yoga for entertainment, but Christy Turlington was studying from the Indian teacher Patabi Joyce and not part of the American experimental yogas.